everybody. This is Pretty P again, also known as Parisha. I just got off of work like 2 hours ago, and I had made a couple of clips about what I'm going to be reviewing today, but I'm just going to do them over. Yeah, because they need to be done over, you know? So today I'm going to be reviewing episodes 1, 2, and 3 of SWV and XSCAPE, the Queens of R&B. So far, there's been 3 episodes. What I'm going to do is give a quick synopsis of episodes 1 and 2. And then I'm going to go into episode 3, which I feel like has been the best episode so far, you know. And yeah, I really like the show so far. It's getting really good. So I was born and raised in New York City, right? And the members of SWV are Coco, Lily, and Taj, or Tamara, but I might just call her Taj. And they started out as a gospel group, and they later on became an R&B group. And just like I was raised up in the Bronx, I found out that Lily was raised in the Bronx too. I'm not sure about the other two members, but I do know that they're from New York City. Ain't that cool? You know? And how I came to know SWV, and I'm beginning to literally beginning to get more familiar with their videos, because I have a sister that's born in 1970. I was born in the 80s, like literally in the borderline of the 80s, late 80s. So she's like 15 years older than me. So she was born in 1970. So as I was growing up, she would play a lot of SWV and XSCAPE on the radio, and I didn't really know who these ladies were too much. She did play XSCAPE a little bit more. She used to play You're My Little Secret. She used to play that a lot. That is slaps, okay? And SWV's right here. Okay? That is slaps too. All these beautiful black women, you know, we're really talented. We're like a really talented race of people, you know? Despite all our little mixtures and whatever we're mixing. So, and then you have the ladies of XSCAPE. These women live in Atlanta. So you have Candy, Kandi. That's how you spell her name. That's a cute name. Her voice is very distinct. Then you have Tamika Harris, and I might just call her Tiny because she's short like me. She's married to the rapper T.I., for those of you who don't know, who are not too familiar with her. And she has a daughter named Zanique. She has 7 kids, actually. And all of those kids are not actually hers. You know. Big old house. And then you have Latasha, right? And then you have another Tamika. But these two are the Scott sisters. Latasha Scott and Tamika Scott. Now they have a mother named Miss Gloria, and their mom unfortunately reminds me of my mom, where she plays favoritism, and where she's now sorry after people being grown for so many years, you know. So I guess they had this idea, or one of the managers or a producer, whoever had this idea that SWV and XSCAPE should do a show together. And they were all for it. I was like, okay, you know, they were all for it. So in the first episode, the manager of SWV was explaining that he would like for them to do a show with XSCAPE. They were all for it. And then SWV was talking about how they came together as a group. And one of the members, Lily, what happened was SWV had broken up for a period of time, and then they came back. I believe Coco might have ended up with a solo deal. They might have came back together recently. Well, yeah, they're together now. They're doing the show, but it was a period of time. Yeah, so there was a period of time where Lily had went completely broke. And she had ended up sleeping at the Yankee Stadium, sleeping in her car parked at the Yankee Stadium, because she felt safer there, because it's the Bronx, honey. The most dangerous borough of New York City, okay? I live right near Soundview, okay? Yeah, the Bronx is crazy like that. I literally lost a schoolmate like the night before my eighth grade um, high school graduation. I couldn't believe that ish. And I knew his sister, like literally some, over some ratchet girl starting some ratchet ish and got this boy shot. And to see this boy's, because the boy was in my grade. I think the girl was a year older. I don't remember, but me and the boy were like around the same age. We were in the same grade, and we were both supposed to graduate like literally the next morning. And I was supposed to play in the concert band and play my little clarinet in the concert band at my own graduation. Because in junior high school, so I played for two of my own graduations because I was always in a concert band. And the concert band of most schools, they'll play at other schools' graduations. So when I was graduating from, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was right before, hold on one second. Hold on. So I apologize, yeah. This boy, he got shot right before the day before my junior high school graduation. I got that mixed up. My junior high school graduation. That was really like messed. Yeah, I don't know how I got my high school and junior high school mixed up because for my high school, I went to Harlem. I went to Frederick Douglass, and then my mom took me out of there because the travel time it was so long. I transferred to Christopher Columbus, so I was right up on Pelham Parkway. It's crazy. Yeah, so I lost a schoolmate the day before I was supposed to play at my junior high school graduation, and then I also played at my high school graduation. It was so dope that me playing at my own graduations. Um, yeah, so it was really sad to hear Lily's story about her, sleeping in her car. Ooh, like I'm really from the block. I'm talking about like, you know, Castle Hill, Soundview, Parkchester, Classon's mother effing Point. That's where my junior high school was at. Classon's Point, right near the end of White Plains Road. If you go any further, I used to like rollerblade at that Classon's Point Park. So also, we find out towards the end of the first episode that one of the Scott sisters, whose name is Tamika, they're all beautiful, but she is so beautiful. The chocolate of her skin, she is so dark and so beautiful. Tamika Scott, you go, girl. She is so beautiful. And she was saying that they were supposed to be getting royalties as, I guess, being members of a new group. They were supposed to be getting a royalty check for that, if I'm explaining it right. And Tamika Scott was saying that she never got her royalty check. It was new royalties. Everybody else got theirs, and she didn't get hers. And what happened was, so T.I.'s mom, it was either Tiny's mother or T.I.'s mom. But one of their moms, because, Tiny and T.I., they both in the music business. So I think one of their moms was also involved in music. So one of their mothers, it might have been Tiny's mother, did some investigating and found out that Tamika Scott's new royalty check, and get this tea, okay? Tamika Scott's royalty check ended up being sent to her sister's house. So her sister Latasha is married to a guy named Rocky, right? So, allegedly, right? But she has receipts, so it's not really alleged like that. Her check had been cashed. It had been sent to his account. It had been sent to her sister Latasha's husband account, and they had been cashing that check. And instead of giving her money, they took that money and they cashed it themselves, and it went into his account. So Tamika was saying, yeah, they stole my money. Not only that, child, but it seems like a alleged forgery because allegedly it had been cashed in Tamika's name as if she cashed it, but she never got them checks. Her sister's dirty for that ish. Her sister, you see, like I'm in a situation right now where I told my sister for doing something, for being disrespectful to me. On more than one occasion, not just one occasion of like a sister spat, like more than one occasion. So about like November 2020, I had to tell my sister, listen, until you apologize to me, don't speak to me. I'm not speaking to you again. Now she tried to speak to me last year without apologizing, and I had to stop her dead in her tracks over the phone. Like, hold up, I asked for something, you did not give it to me. Like, family members have to have a level of respect for one another, okay? And she did say, okay, I'll try that with you when I see you in person, okay? But them two words better come out your mouth. I don't play that. I don't play with family being disrespectful. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like some people don't deserve forgiveness, but I believe she did forgive her sister. I'm not forgiving you. Because when this lady took her sister's money, she was pregnant and her other child was in college. She needed that money. So her goofy mama gonna say, and I have to say it because that's a goofy way to think of it. Her goofy mama gonna say, well, maybe she needed that money. But I'm just like, no, maybe Tamika needed that money because she was pregnant and she had a child in college. So her and her sister Tocha and her mama, they were all having an argument. And her mother be acting like Tamika's always wrong about everything. And her mother is like pinning the two sisters against each other. I hate when mothers do that. And she be playing favorites. And Tamika called her mother out on it. So Tamika was telling her sister Latasha, like, listen, I pulled all the evidence together and my friend was about to lock you up, but I stopped her. And I'm just thinking, girl, why did you stop her? Because you needed to teach your sister a lesson. Some people, I don't, blood or not, they need to be taught a lesson. You should have locked her up, girl. That would have been the headliner for maybe one of like the next episodes. Like Latasha goes to jail for stealing her sister's money, and her mama not holding her accountable for stealing her sister's money. Like, come on. Why would you steal from your sister and then keep on denying it? And she just be like, no, I didn't steal it. Yes, you did, Miss Muppet. And they used to get along very good, but it seemed like Latasha just turned evil. That's an evil thing to do. Like, why are you such a thief? Your sister's money? Like, goddamn. That's very evil to me. And her mama is defending the sister that stole the money and acting like Tamika's wrong. But shout out to Tamika. Tamika kept calling her mama out on all 3 of these episodes. Okay? She was outside. They was outside. She screaming at her mama. You know they did. You know they stole my money. You know y'all ain't right. That had me dying when she said, y'all know y'all ain't right. The way she said it. She said she had receipts and she told her sister, you can still go to jail. And I'm like, yes. Teach her a lesson. Teach. Why is she still not in jail? Why is she out free? She hasn't learned anything, in my opinion. She hasn't learned anything. And she's been free. You see, I'm not that child. My sister would have been locked the F up. I don't give a F. So you will have a caretaker for your children, but you gonna learn your lesson. I'm locking up your husband too. What's good? What's good? You want to take my money out of my mouth and go feast on my money? Are you crazy? It's the audacity for me. And then to look up in her sister's face and act like she don't know what the F she's talking about. And then her husband had the nerve to say, oh, she's been accusing me. And my name came up. Your name came up because maybe it's your account, Ninja. It's your account that the thing was cashed in. Really? It's the fake oblivion for me. Like, I don't know, as if he trying to say he don't know what she talking about. Chat. They know they ain't right. And then as soon as Tamika goes shout them out and go say, yeah, mama been quiet, she don't defend me, I can still have you locked up, you can still go to jail. Here come the mama. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. She's like this. Cut the cameras. Get out of my house. Cut the cameras off and get out of my house. Oh, really? Oh. All of a sudden, it's cut the cameras every time Tamika shout y'all ASS, shout y'all asses out. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want people to hear how dirty one of your daughters is, right? Oh, okay. Okay. You don't want the people to know how unethical one of your children is, right? Yeah. Right? Because when they was outside the house and Tamika was screaming at her mama like, you know they did. You know y'all ain't right. You know she was, Tamika was like livid. Here come the mama again. Turn off the cameras. I don't want them cameras. And why are you so mad? It's like she always try to shut Tamika up, and I don't like that. Tamika called her out on it. Tamika put her foot down, and during the second episode, they was talking about how when they try to have a meeting with the two sisters, Latasha gets up and leaves, or she don't barely have anything to say, which is true. And then when they were in this restaurant, like Latasha had this very cold and evil, aura toward her sister. And so Tamika was like, the thing, like, this is, I know we're not speaking, but this is like a slap in the face. And I'm like, dang, well, your sister treats you like that. And in my mind, I'm like, your sister don't really love you for real. Like, that's not sisterly love. I'm like, first of all, your sister don't respect you. She steals from you. She's a thief. She's a con artist. She's conniving. She's a liar. Her and her husband. I see why they together. They're up to no good. And she don't respect you, and she don't love you the way. That's not love. So and Latasha is just not a nice person. And I feel like most of it is fueled by the way their mother is like pinning them against each other and always making Latasha seem like she's right and always making Tamika seem like she's wrong. So, the second episode was mostly about that money and Tamika calling her mom and her sister out like she should. Yes, Tamika. When she was calling them out, I was like, get them, Tamika. Get them. Yes. Tell them about themselves. Tell these two people, family, and not tell them about themselves. And her mother is just acting like Tasha ain't did nothing wrong. So before I actually saw the third episode, I began to think something. And I said, well, maybe the mama's mean. And maybe some people are mean just to be mean, but maybe it's not just that. Maybe there's another reason as to why she keeps treating Tamika like that. And I kind of like figured it out. So both sisters are beautiful. The mother is beautiful. The mother, and I'm not like really going like around skin tones, but I'm just using this as an example. Like my older sister, she's light skinned and I'm dark skinned, but we look just alike. We got the same. We both look like our mother, but we have different fathers, right? Kicker, right? So I don't look like my father. I look like my mom, but I act like him. I have his demeanor. I have, so a lot of times because me and my father, like our personalities are like. My mother used to try to turn us against each other, like literally. And my mother used to try to get me and my sister to be against each other. So it didn't take too long for me to figure out what was going on with the mother, because I was trying to figure out why does she keep coming for Tamika like that, because I could never understand in life of me why you would give birth to two kids and keep treating one kid like crap, right? So I began to think the mother's mad about something, but what? So then I took a look at the two sisters, right? So Latasha is not as light as my sister. Like my sister's light like Tiny, whatever. But I do notice like Latasha looks more like the mother, right? And then I took a good look at Tamika. She's a little bit prettier to me. They do look alike. You can tell they're sisters, but she's gorgeous, right? And that's like, wait a minute. Tamika's darker than her mother. Tamika is, when I say chocolate, they're all chocolate, but Tamika is very, very dark, right? Tamika is the exact same complexion as my father. I'm darker than my mother, right? I'm darker than my mother, but I'm lighter than my dad. But I'm like, Tamika must be her father's complexion. She must be like my dad's complexion. That very, very, that smooth chocolate complexion. Yes, I'm noticing. I'm like, I could tell that Latasha and Tamika's sisters, but Tamika don't look that much like a sister like that. She don't look like her mama. I said, Tamika looked like her dad. She looked totally different. I said, the mother's mad at the daddy. And she's taking it out on Tamika. I figured it out. I'm like, she don't look right. So I'm like, she's taking her anger out that she has on Tamika's dad. She's taking it out on Tamika. Because then I was like, oh, that's what's going on. She's misplacing her anger towards her daughter, making her daughter pay for the fact that she's mad at her daughter. She's making her daughter pay because she's mad at her daddy, right? And so the second episode ends with that. Oh, the second episode also ends with Latasha shopping for a solo record deal, but Escape didn't even know it yet. Someone had to tell them. In the last clip, it might have looked like my eyes were closed. It might look like that now, but my eyes are not closed. I got some droopy eyelids, and then these lashes don't help. And of course, it ended up with this little liar, Latasha, still denying that she stole her sister's money. And her sister is calling her all out on all levels, and I'm just here for it, girl. Yes, call that sister out. She's disrespecting you, stealing your money. So, and then the episode ends with Latasha trying to get a deal with Motown Records, right? Then we get into the third episode, right? So, this is the third episode, and I believe that both groups, SWV and XSCAPE, they're trying to get themselves together and really come as one to do this show, because they really want to do the show together. Shout out to all the people that realize that they have depression or that they have some kind of like mental issue, and that they know when it's time to get help. So in this episode, it started out with Coco, who she was actually like the lead singer. I love the sound of her voice. She's so beautiful. And she was sitting down at the table with someone that she knew. And they was asking her how her mental health is, you know. And she was stating that she's better, that her mental is good, right? And that she was in 2017. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is it's a form of depression, bipolar depression. And how she knew she needed help, and how she knew that she needed help with her depression. Well, she didn't say these words, but in my words, I'm gonna say it because she at one point was homicidal, where her brain was telling her to kill people, you know. Because she said she was having thoughts of killing people or killing somebody. I guess it was at that moment she realized she needed help, because she did say that she would have ended up in jail by now for killing somebody, because that's what her mind was going to, you know. Her mind was making her homicidal, you know. And shout outs to her for realizing that she did have a problem. And it's okay not to be okay. Just try to get help if you feel like you absolutely might need help. And I'm glad that she did what she had to do, and she went and got some help. And shout out to you, Coco. I applaud you for that. I love that for you, you know. And I'm glad that, you know, she said the medication had calmed her down a lot. And I'm glad that it did calm me down. So, you know, I'm happy for her, you know. Mental illness is very serious and it's very tough to deal with, and sometimes you might just have to take a med or two to, you know, help you deal with things. So I'm glad that she got control of her bipolar depression, and that she got control of her life, and she went and got help. That's pretty dope. And that she was open and honest enough with millions of viewers and let them know that at one point she was thinking about killing somebody. That takes a lot. It takes a lot of gusto and bravado, okay, to be able to tell somebody that you were thinking about, you know, taking somebody up out of here. So, shout out to her for realizing, you know, that she needed to get help. So, Taj is sitting with Candy and telling Candy that she saw Latasha at, you know, in Nashville. In Tennessee, I guess. And she was shopping for a record deal. And Candy was like, oh, this has happened before, you know. So then we get back to Tamika Scott, right? So Tamika Scott ends up sitting with her mama, but in her house, in Tamika's house, and told the mother she was glad to see her. And she sat down and got real with her mama, you know. I like that. So then Tamika starts, she starts crying, and she's telling her mother, like, listen, if you don't know how to respect me, I'm gonna have to step back. And her mother's like, you know, what you mean step back? In my mind, I'm like, she gonna stop fooling with you, right? I just want to say shout out to Tamika for putting her foot down, and her mama know, like, don't treat me like that. Don't treat me like that. What's wrong treating me like that, you know? Her mother was like, I don't play favorites. I'm sorry if you felt like I wasn't, much of a mom to you as I was to your sister. So her mama treated her for the way she had been treating her, all these years. She said, if you felt like I've been less of a mother to you, I'm sorry. And they hugged and they cried. But mostly Tamika cried. And that was such a beautiful moment for her mama to actually woman up and say, I'm sorry. It was at that moment that I had a little more respect for Mama Gloria, and I still think she could be a little bit underhanded. Um, but I can respect her for being a woman to say, yeah, I'm sorry, I have not been treating you right. I have been being less of a mother to you, and she has. This was such a beautiful moment, yes. I'm like, yes, so she's finally gonna start treating Tamika right, treating her more like a daughter. I was so happy for Tamika. I'm so happy for the both of them because now it maybe their relationship can be a little bit better. And then Lily's son is trying to get into the music industry, and also Coco's son realized that he wanted to sing. Um, yeah, so these families, their children want to sing. I like that. Even though both of those sons are grown, but still, they're letting their mamas know, hey, I want to sing just like how you were singing. That's pretty cool. So then the episode ends where there's a problem. Well, there's a problem where now they're trying to figure out if SWV or Escape should headline the show, and they're trying to determine it on which group over the years has had more ticket sales. Yeah. So that was my review of episodes 1, 2, and 3. 3 being, Tamika's mother and Tamika, they're coming together, getting along, might be getting along better, and they're trying to figure out who's going to headline this show.